And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Greetings, I'm National Weather Service meteorologist Peter Chan with your Alaska aviation weather as we go here through the end of the week. So a couple of the main weather features we're keeping an eye on. Early Thursday morning, there's still going to be an area of low pressure here over the northern Gulf and a trough extending along the northeastern Gulf Coast into the Panhandle. Potential for even some embedded flashes of lightning, rumbles of thunder with the showers that'll be just off of the southwest coastline there of the Panhandle. Further west, we have a strong cold front working its way through the southwest interior across the Alaska Peninsula. That's the leading edge of a batch of Arctic air that's come out of Siberia. And we have a collection of low pressures at the surface. There's a stronger mid and upper level low that's here over the west central areas of the coast, and that's going to drop southeastward across the lower Yukon Delta, and then that system at the surface will just be absorbed into another low coming up out of the North Pacific here as we go through the weekend. There's also going to be another low lift out of the North Pacific up toward the Panhandle by later Saturday, and that could produce widespread heavy precipitation and strong winds Saturday afternoon, Saturday night into early Sunday. So those are areas of concern a little beyond this outlook, but something to keep in mind. Thursday afternoon, we have IFR conditions along the intercoastal mountains and channels of the Panhandle back toward end there of Yakutat Bay, and then out over areas of the western Prince William Sound, eastern Kenai, on up inside of the Alaska Range, west side of the Susitna Valley, areas along the west coast, lower Yukon Delta back toward St. Lawrence Island, and areas of the Bering Strait. The colder air just continues to come in with gusty winds and also snow showers or snow squalls. We still have the remnants of that low in the northern Gulf with areas of IFR, especially along the intercoastal mountains of the Panhandle on up into Wrangell, St. Elias, as well as you get up into, say, the Talkeetna Mountains, areas of the Alaska Range, and then IFR conditions creeping up there along areas of the Kuskokwim, as well as the especially middle Yukon River. And for Friday afternoon, we still have IFR conditions right along the intercoastal mountains of the Panhandle with widespread MVFR extending out to the outer coast. A lot of MVFR throughout areas of the mainland with pockets of IFR getting up the middle upper Yukon Valley, areas of the Brooks Range and North Slope, still continuing along areas of the Bering Strait to the north side of St. Lawrence. And Atuvik Pass there in the Brooks Range on Thursday will generally see VFR conditions. That'll also be the case neighboring pass there, Adigan Pass. Further south and west, conditions on the west arm of the Alaska Range, we're looking at generally IFR conditions at Lake Clark and Merrill on Thursday. Same thing at Rainy Pass. May briefly flirt with MVFR, but overall trending toward IFR. Windy Pass should start out early Thursday with VFR conditions giving way to IFR. Isabel Pass kind of just riding that MVFR throughout the day. Thursday, as you go further east, Mentasta Pass also MVFR. Tanita Pass may see VFR conditions in areas of the Copper River Basin early, giving way to MVFR conditions. And then finally across the northern Gulf Coast, Portage Pass initially VFR, but becoming IFR. And then along areas of the far north end of the Panhandle, Chilkoot and White Passes both anticipate IFR conditions on Thursday. Now, overall, the atmosphere is rather chilly. The surface freezing line runs well down into the central lower Bering Sea, just north of the Aleutian Chain and the Alaska Peninsula. Comes up into Bristol Bay and then along the eastern Kenai coastline and northeastern Gulf Coast into the inner channels of the Panhandle. We do find a little area of around and above 2,000 foot freezing level there near Haida Gwaii southward into the North Pacific. So overall, the air mass is fairly cold across the state. And with the low Thursday that's in the northern Gulf, we have a low up here over the Bering Strait, this Seward Peninsula region. That low's drifting southeastward. Strong cold front pushing across the Alaska Peninsula. So that's going to generate snow showers and snow squalls. freezing. There could be some considerable moderate freezing or icing areas above 4,000 feet along the Alaska Peninsula. Also, some moderate icing in and around areas of the northwestern, north central Gulf Coast, extending inland into the Wrangell-St. Elias Mountains and perhaps up into the lower portions of the Susitna Valley above 3,000 feet. So keep that in mind, but we do have a rather active weather pattern along areas of the Gulf, West Coast, and the Alaska Peninsula here, not just for the end of the week, but through much of the weekend into early next week.